Hello, everyone, and welcome to the latest and greatest episode of the Lobot Podcast. I'm Tyler.
I'm Josh.
And we are back at the Bachelor Pad. We are back at the Trap House. We are back at the
Crackdown.
Crackdown.
Ever since you said, I've just noticed that we wouldn't do another late night episode. We keep doing late night episodes.
Doing late night episodes.
We love it that much.
Yeah, it is a late on a Saturday night.
Yep.
I normally do them on a Saturday morning, but we lost track of time.
Yep,
And
yep.
Adam's watching footy.
Yep.
So we thought, why not smash out an episode of the pod? Because next week is the season finale. Next week is the Blockies.
Yep.
So we thought about doing the Blockies this week, but there's been too many trades and signs and sign trades.
Yep.
So we're just like, nah, let's just cover everything.
Mm-hmm.
Next week, Blockies for the season finale, and then go from there.
Yep.
But yeah, late night episode. Weird
Yeah.
feeling. Full stomach.
Yeah, God, we've had so much pizza. We got free hot chocky.
Free hot
Shout out
chocky.
to St. Clair Pizza.
Shout out to Wally.
Really, really
at the
good.
St. Clair Pizza Bros.
Is that his name?
I
didn't know
assume
his
so.
name.
It's Wally Serbiak's pizza or whatever, right? And Kim is his wife.
Wally Serbiak. Yeah, no, really, really, really good. A lot of stuff has happened.
Yes,
And
in
there's
the
gonna be
basketball world.
A lot to talk about.
Yeah, I think we'll... But I don't think we're going to stay on each topic too long. Just naturally, like there's some couple of things, like it'll be a couple minutes here, a couple minutes there. But I don't feel like we're going to dwell on stuff too much, but maybe you think otherwise.
Maybe. I mean, it depends what we come across. I guess, because I could have gone through it before the pod. I haven't looked. I have the entire trade tracker here. I've only looked at some of them. So
just go from the
gonna be a
top
surprise.
and we'll say whatever we need to about what happened.
I'm going to go through from the bottom because that's
Okay.
from the
The original. Yeah, okay.
original, yeah. All right,
So we're just going to go through the trade tracker and just bam, bam, bam.
Yes.
We're not doing much of an intro this week. Let's just... There's a lot to talk about. So let's just bam, bam, bam,
yep,
bam, bam.
easy. All right, so first trade, this is a big one. So OKC get Kemba Walker and a couple picks.
Oh, this is during the playoffs.
Yes, I'm going through everything. So
Yeah.
Boston get Al Horford, Moses, Brown, and a pick. That one's big because obviously OKC now have a bunch of guards, which we
Yep.
will touch on. We have another one, which we kind of just noticed today, funnily enough, when we were playing 2K. New Orleans get Jonas Valanciunas and a pick. Memphis Grizzlies get Steven Adams and Eric Bledsoe and some picks. This one, because we thought starting this, and I guess it would be a recurring thing, New Orleans kind of like a straight F on the offseason so far.
Well, it's like it doesn't move the needle.
It doesn't. It doesn't at all. I think Jonas Valanciunas is a much better player than Steven Adams will ever be.
A better all-round player, yes.
But it doesn't really change
it
much.
doesn't.
They've still got issues.
Yeah.
And it's not working it out. But you know, it is what it is. I think it's, if anything, it's actually a bit of a detriment to Memphis now that I'm thinking about it. Because Jonas was really crucial to a lot of their success in Memphis.
He was their defensive anchor.
Yeah, because what I keep seeing people talk about, and that you've spoken about as well, is New Orleans haven't done much this postseason. They've kind of gone back or haven't moved the middle. But trading Jonas for Steven Adams, I don't like.
No.
I actually think Steven Adams isn't as good a fit as Jonas. Because at least Jonas can semi-space the floor a little bit.
Yeah, he has an offensive game where Steve Adams is just a lob threat.
Much better passer as well.
Yeah.
Jonas. So that one's a bit iffy. I don't know about. Next one, we've got Brooklyn Nets get Javon Carter on a pick. Phoenix get Landry Shamet.
That's a big trade.
That's a big trade.
Right.
So people have been kind of quiet on Landry Shamet recently.
Because he
like
was
the
at
last year or two.
Brooklyn.
Yeah.
Right? Like, he's been overshadowed so much, but, like, he did so well at the Clippers.
Yeah, very,
right?
very well.
He really shone there. He really shined like a bright star. And, yeah, he took a backseat at Brooklyn. You have to.
Yep.
You don't have a choice.
But it was even because he wasn't traded originally. He did have some time with the Clippers.
Yeah.
Because I remember it was Landry Shamet and Shea.
Yeah.
Shea moved to OKC, and obviously the rest is history. But Landry never really did much with the Clippers. He kind of fizzled out really, really quickly. He was decent, but that was kind of it. Like, it's not Joe Harris where it's high volume.
No.
You know, Landry Shamet, I don't think ever came to be. He feels very much like a Josh Richardson to me.
He's got a chance. I mean,
Yeah, like, he does have a chance, but I don't have that same stock in him that I used to, and I think that's the
fair.
general consensus
That's
because
fair.
everyone's kind of gotten rid of him. But Phoenix, it is a good pickup because they've, just made the finals.
Shooter off the bench.
Shooter off the bench. They just need constant offense, less scrubs, essentially. So that's a
No
good pickup.
Javon Carter. Like, I'm sure they're glad to get rid of him.
Yeah, sure. So that's a good pickup. Next one, which I know Adam is super, super hyped about. Not super, super hyped out. Sorry about it. But he is excited about it. Minnesota get Torion Prince, a couple picks and cash considerations. I like Torion Prince, but he hasn't worked out. But Cleveland get Ricky Rubio as a backup guard.
And people clown on Ricky Rubio a bit. He's very good. He's been very good for a long time.
Yep.
So obviously, he used to be the starting point guard for Utah.
Yes.
For years and years. A great passing and defensive guard and a bit of an on-court leader. And Cleveland can really use that. A bit of a vet presence.
Absolutely.
100%. He'll be coming off the bench, but he'll be great for that squad off the bench.
With all of this new blood coming into Cleveland, obviously Sexton's leading the floor right now. You've got guys like Larry Nance and Jetty Osman, which are really kind of the glue guys will be becoming that. Garland's getting better and better very slowly. But they don't have... I think it's very different when you've got a big man like Larry Nance or Tristan Thompson or Kevin Love that are trying to be the leaders on court, off court, whatever. It doesn't have the same impact as a leader that's a playmaker.
Correct.
And that's what Rubio is. And they don't have that. Sexton's a great player, but he hasn't shown to be a leader yet.
Yeah.
Garland is way too young to be a leader. It just seems very quiet and just shoots when he needs to shoot. Rubio's not that. And Rubio, the thing I love about Rubio, and I think people shit on him for it, and I don't think they should. Remember that series where it was Utah versus Houston. And the way, and we'd never seen it before. I mean, at least me.
Yeah, the hip guard.
The hip guard, back of his left, the way that Harden loves to step back and hit that shot, was refusing to let him do it. And that's the way Rubio would guard him, and it forced Harden into doing driving.
A lot of shit for that, despite it being the coach's decision.
Coach's decision, but a very smart decision.
It worked. Harden's numbers dropped in that series.
Yeah, and the reason why, just because I know it was some time ago, we haven't seen Rubio play for the Jazz in quite some time. But if you take away Harden's step backs in his offense from the arc, it limits him to one thing only, and that is to drive into the floater or dish, lob, whatever that is. And with Gobert under the rim, and you've got Royce O'Neal, Joe Ingles doing the passing lanes, it's a lot easier to contain that. Granted, it didn't work out. But the reason I like, and I'm touching on that, is because there are not many players that I can think of that will be willing to go to those lengths
and
for a coach's decision and to try it in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Which is insane. And it's something that I think these younger kids, like they just had the issue with KPJ, Cleveland that is. And I think it's really important to get guards like Ricky Rubio that
lead by example
and trust the coaches, trust the scheme, trust the ideas. And I think that's the most important thing coming 100%. Off the bench and making an impact.
Him being a vet and a great leader more than his skill set.
Yep.
His skill set isn't bad, but there are other things that Ricky Rubio has that will help this team a lot.
Absolutely. And that's why he's been in the league so long.
Exactly.
So that's a really good pickup, despite it only being Ricky Rubio.
Yeah.
Next one I've got is Charlotte get Mason Plumlee, your boy.
Dog.
Detroit.
I thought he was already on Charlotte.
I don't know anymore. Like the Plumlees.
Oh, he was on Detroit.
The Hands Bros.
There's only one Hands
Bro. There were a couple, I think. Something, I don't know. There were,
if you're another Hands Bro, write in.
There's so many. Like there's the Lopez's and whatnot. So that's nothing major. Who cares really what's going on in Charlotte and Detroit between the two? There's not going to be anything major. Next one, just a bunch of pick swaps with Milwaukee and Indiana. Nothing major. This is the one I'm hyped about. And I'm not sure if we said it on last week's pod, but now I don't care if we don't even make the playoffs because I love our squad. Russell Westbrook to Washington and... Washington give us, Lakers, Russell Westbrook. Washington receive Kyle Kuzma, Montrezl Harrell, KCP.
You did mention it. We did mention that trade on last week. That was like the last thing that happened before last week's pod. Yeah, you're super hyped about it. You gave up some things, but it was about time. Like, it was ready to see them go.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I guess touching on this, because this is the biggest trade currently.
Correct.
And we've got plenty of time. With Russell Westbrook on LA, how do you think that fits? So we've got, for the moment, the core is LeBron and Anthony Davis, and we've just given up some of that depth. How do you think Russ fits in not being a shooter, basically playmaker, slasher?
Absolutely fine.
Yeah.
Because the big issue with Bron teams is the whole whenever you build Bron with shooters, when Bron's not on the court, it's like, what is this sloppy excuse for basketball?
What do the shooters do?
Russ is the one man squad.
Yep.
So you could put just Russ out there with 5 defend and the whole team can guard him. He's still going to do the same thing.
Yep.
So this is like, you don't always have to run them at the same time. Run them somewhat opposite each other.
That's exactly it. Because my thinking with Russ on this squad is, and it was the same thing, very similar to Rondo and LeBron. You stagnate their minutes.
Yeah, you stagnate.
Generally don't play them at the same time. It'll be obviously LeBron and Westbrook will play at the same time.
Yes.
But the times they don't, all of a sudden you're going up against one of the best slashers, facilitators, and just on-court generals in LeBron, and the exact same thing with Russ.
Yeah.
So your bench squad has to deal with one of those two at all times. And that becomes very problematic for the defense to deal with.
100%.
Russ is one of the smartest offensive players we've seen. And intensity-wise, it's scary.
Like, the way Bron has helped unlock AD, Russ can do that to a much smaller extent, but he can still do it. You know what I mean? So 100%, this pushes the needle so much.
Yep. And it helps as well because having multiple facilitators on the same team is damn useful.
It's very useful. If everyone can pass, that means the ball is always live when it's in anyone's hands.
Yeah. Like, I remember when Mark Cuban would talk about how making LeBron stop for a second or two is enough to adjust the defense and look at passing lanes and what his options are in the triple threat. And now you have to do that with Russ and Bron.
Yeah.
Which is insane. So I'm really, really excited about it, despite the fact that Russ is a subpar shooter at best.
Yeah.
But the one thing I'm also excited about is now we've got 3 closers.
Yes.
Anthony Davis is a phenomenal closer. LeBron's obviously one of the best closers we've ever seen, and Russell Westbrook is not afraid to be a closer.
Correct.
So now if you're the defense, you have to plan.
You have to
for
respect all 3.
another thing, because you're not planning for Kuzma to hit the 3.
No, you're not.
You know, for any of that.
Game winding down, you know it's AD or Bron taking that shot. Yep. Now there's a chance Russ could do it.
Exactly. And that means it's spaces it out. You've got to guard that person,
You have to respect it a bit more.
Yep. You don't have to worry about Caruso on the corner. That doesn't matter anymore because you've got Russ to deal with. It's insane. But I guess before I move off of the Russ talk, there's always talks about Kuzma, Harrell, and all of those boys that we just seem to let go.
Why is there talk about him?
You were never really high on Montrez. I don't think there's too much to say about Montrez. He didn't fit. A lot of internal drama. I wish him the best. I think he should have got more minutes because he's almost a guaranteed bucket whenever he gets minutes in the small spurts he does. So I think he will see success in Washington because they need those Thomas Bryant energetic kind of guys. That's Montrez.
Yeah.
Just more efficient. But Kuzma, I guess, is the one that I'm really intrigued on because when he came into the league with LA, he was really promising. Admittedly, 6'10", small forward, power forward, can shoot the ball really well.
Bit of a tweener role, shoot, could potentially play some good D.
Yeah, and actually stepped up his defense.
Yeah.
When we got Bron in the second year, it was, this isn't working. We need something different from Kuzma. And he completely abandoned his previous role, which was a scorer, became a defender. A wing defender, man-on-man defender, and he was not really good, but he was really good for what he was.
Yeah.
And he stepped it up and
Changed his role
sacrificed so
completely.
much. And he got a lot of hate for that because he wasn't scoring. He wasn't dropping.
He wasn't putting the ball on the floor.
No. But it's because the team asked something else. Like, there's that thing that got lost in translation, and I don't think Kuzma deserves any hate.
No.
But now he's going to Washington, where obviously they are young. Their main scorer is obviously Bradley Beal, but now they've got, Rui is a project they can work on.
For how long?
That's the thing. Now you've got Kuzma, who is still somewhat promising offensively.
Yeah,
and
he still has room to go. He's still young.
Yeah. But now he's in a situation where he can really just start shooting the ball again.
The pressure's off.
Yep.
He's not in a LeBron team.
Yep.
People have said it. There's no pressure like being on a LeBron team.
Oh, it's crazy.
Like, there's more spotlight on you on a LeBron team than any other team in the league.
Yep.
So the spotlight's off. He's not in LA. He's not in the bright lights.
Yep.
He can learn to play basketball the way he wants and weaponize his skill set.
Yes.
Not the skill set that the team needs for him.
I think it's important that he now takes the time to work on his skill set.
Correct.
Because then from there, teams will recognize his value and where he actually fits. Because being a decent defender at 6'10", isn't ideal. Unless you're a phenomenal defender, you know. And right now he's a decent shooter, decent defender, and that's kind of it. I think this is the best of both worlds for both teams.
It's the same way where Lonzo left, and it's like now you can actually develop your skill set.
And he got
same
better.
way Ingram left, is now you can develop your skill set.
Yeah.
Same when Randall left, you now have time for you to develop. You're not on a Bron team. You're not in LA.
Absolutely, yeah. Because when you go to these teams with any kind of superstar, it's you have to conform to the team. It's not,
Correct.
oh, we're going to help you, adjust your game and get to as good as you can be. It's no, we need you to fill this role.
Yeah.
So it's going to be cool to see Kuzma potentially, be good again. And that's what I want.
100%.
They also picked up KCP. KCP is just a solid player in my mind.
Yep.
He's not going to push the needle or anything.
3-and-D.
But
Yeah.
It really hinges on how great Kuzma can be.
Yep.
But that one, obviously a huge trade.
Probably the
and
biggest so far.
I think both teams kind of came out on top there.
Yep.
Pick swaps, a lot of pick swaps.
A lot of pick swaps.
Jesus Christ. Let me get to one where
It's
there's
just like a lot of nothing, a lot of filler that isn't going to mean anything now that might mean something in 5 years and whatnot.
Utah gave up Derek Favors to OKC for some picks. This one, pretty minor, 3-team trade. Atlanta Hawks get DeLon Wright, average. Boston get Chris Dunn, Bruno Fernando.
Why would you want that?
I don't know why you'd want that. But Brad Stevens has a plan, I assume. Sacramento Kings get Tristan Thompson. I don't know.
Veteran.
The only pick involved in here is a 2023 second-round pick, and that went to Boston.
He's a veteran.
I guess.
He's been on a championship team.
They do need to figure their shit out, Sacramento, because what they've got right now is kind of in a mess. Yeah. On paper, I like the team.
You can't blow it up.
You can't.
Because this is the closest you've had anything to blowing.
That and like, De'Aaron Fox is like borderline all-star.
Yeah.
Like, you can't afford to really F this up. It's insane. But I don't understand what they're doing, but I trust Brad Stevens, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And Brad, we trust.
Yeah, that's true. Dallas got a second-round pick. Boston got Josh Richardson. Sure. Doesn't mean too much to me. Josh Richardson's stock has dropped, plummeted.
We can see his ceiling.
Yeah.
And that's what he is now.
Yeah.
Unless he somehow makes a magical leap. No, this is his ceiling.
Yeah.
Like, he had that time when he was Miami Josh, but we've seen Philly Josh, we've seen Dallas Josh.
It's not happening.
It's not happening.
Unfortunately.
And that's fine. It is what it is.
Yep. Another huge trade, which I think you will be very, very excited about because this is one of your teams. Toronto Raptors get Precious Achiuwa and Goran Dragic. Miami Heat get Kyle Lowry. Finally. This feels like it was meant to happen.
It's been in talks for the whole season.
Right.
And it finally came through. One of my teams, Miami Heat, they needed a ball handler.
Yes.
They needed another on-court vocal leader. They needed a great defender, or they needed a leader. But like this, Kyle Lowry just fits the mold of this team.
Absolutely.
Right? They want to go back to that finals that they made.
There were 2 point guards, right? It was Chris Paul and Kyle Lowry. They were the perfect fits for Miami.
Correct.
They didn't get Chris Paul. They finally got Kyle Lowry.
Yeah.
And I agree with you 100%. It feels like a match made in heaven.
Yeah.
Where you've got this second vocal leader. You've got this absolute bulldog work ethic in Kyle Lowry. You've got this guy
He's a spot-up shooter as well.
Spot-up shooter. And they love their shooters, especially when Jimmy doesn't shoot.
Yeah.
But you've got bulldog defense. You've got team defense. You've got team passing. He takes the most charges out of anyone in the league. It's crazy.
His signature move is a charge.
Yeah. Kyle Lowry fits this team better than anyone else. And I think it's at this time, it's more important than ever because they really did have a disappointing way to end the postseason.
They did.
And I think Kyle Lowry is the right move because it kind of rallies the troops a bit.
100%.
It's like we've just upgraded. It kind of sucks we lost Goran Dragic because Goran Dragic is part of that Heat culture.
Yeah.
But Kyle Lowry's a step up.
I want to get to this other trade now because I don't want to come back to the Heat.
Yep.
But last season they lost Joe Crowder and that was a big hit.
Yep.
Took them a season, but they got an upgrade.
Yep.
The now NBA champion, my boy, PJ Tucker. Yep. You want to talk about the exact same Kyle Lowry, the exact same thing Kyle Lowry is in a power forward?
Yep.
That's PJ fucking Tucker.
It's exciting, man. Looking at this squad, they never go after these guys. Like, I think the reason why Oladipo was a weird pick, he doesn't fit the mold.
No, he doesn't.
Whereas PJ Tucker, your Jay Crowders, your Kyle Lowrys, your Chris Pauls, they fit this team bulldog mold. There's no real ISO.
They
ball.
didn't go after Oladipo. Oladipo went after them.
Yeah, went after them, and it felt weird even with that. And I know people are like, well, Jimmy plays a lot of ISO, but Jimmy doesn't just ISO.
No.
He doesn't score 30
cuts a
points a
lot.
night. He cuts, he moves off ball, he defends the best player on the team sometimes. He does everything that you could ask of him, which is why he doesn't average 30 points. You'll get the same thing from PJ. He doesn't need to score throughout the night, but he's doing everything else.
He's scoring 9, maybe 10 points. He's switchable dependent. One of the most switchable defenders.
Killing it on defense.
Killing on defense. The corner 3.
Yep.
Right? He's the best corner 3 shooter in the league. It's been proven for years and years and years. Percentage-wise, he hits the best percentage. Jimmy cuts in, he drives, kicks it out to PJ, boom, splash.
Yep.
This is an upgrade from Jay Crowder.
And a very similar thing to what we just said about Westbrook, where there will be times where minutes are stagnated between Bron and Westbrook because they're both great floor generals. It's the exact same thing with Kyle Lowry and Jimmy Butler. Miami Heat, very, very on paper, it's super clear that we have ball handlers, we have hustle guys, we have 3-point shooters.
Yeah.
That is pretty much the Heat in a nutshell. When Jimmy Butler's not on the floor and you don't have Goran Dragic now, who else is going to facilitate the ball to your Duncan Robinson, your Tyler Hero?
But that's out of the elbow.
Yes.
No one, Bam isn't going to bring it up and call a play. Right?
Now Kyle Lowry can. And that's what makes this scary. You've got another guy in the corner of PJ Tucker. You've got your Duncan Robinsons. You've got your Tyler Hero. You've got your other shooters. Kyle Lowry's a shooter as well.
This is the run back. They took a year off, but this is the run back from the bubble.
I think this was a really important learning curve for them. Like, we can't just run it back and expect success when every team is improving.
Correct.
And I think that's I guess for anyone that watches the NBA, there's always this unseen thing where every team's getting better and better.
Yeah.
It's not just, they're the best team last year, they're going to win it again. No, that's why you don't see teams win 6 in a row.
Back to back is tough.
It's super tough.
Right.
Like, we never saw the Warriors go 3-0. Like, it doesn't happen that often. And I think it was super important for that. So Miami Heat did it. They took the move. Pat Riley was like, let's do it. They, like I said, difficult cutting ties with Goran Dragic because he's been so consistent.
Been there for 7-8 years.
So I
part of that culture.
Part of that culture.
Yeah.
But Kyle Lowry brings more to the table.
Yeah.
He's more consistent.
It's the correct decision.
I love it.
Yeah.
I absolutely love it. And in regards to Goran Dragic at Toronto, I don't need to say anything. Who knows what's going to happen.
He could fit anywhere.
He could.
He could fit in any team in the league as a backup point guard.
Yep. Touching on, God, you probably love this offseason. Another one of your teams, Chicago.
Shy City.
The trade I've got here is New Orleans Pelicans get Thomas Satoransky, Garrett Temple, and a pick. Chicago get Lonzo Ball.
One of my boys going to one of my teams.
Hell yeah.
I love Lonzo Ball. He's made such an improvement from his LA days. He looks like a completely different player. And now he's gone to Chicago, who haven't had a passer since Kirk Heinrich. So it's been a bit.
Oh my God, really? Yeah, I mean...
When's the last time they had a playmaker?
No, you're right. Because Chris Dunn doesn't count.
No.
Like
Kobe White doesn't pass.
Yeah, Kobe White doesn't pass.
Zach LaVine's the person they pass to. But they haven't had a playmaker and a really primary ball handler since Derrick Rose or Kirk Heinrich.
Kirk Heinrich, man. You're hearing that first.
Yeah.
The first since Kirk.
Well, you know how
Lonzo
LaVine
Ball.
scored 50 points this season? That was the last time that was done in the regular season was MJ with the Bulls.
Oh my God. That really puts it into perspective, right? How long this Bulls squad has sucked.
Apart from Derrick Rose.
Yeah. Which was really a small period,
amount of time,
unfortunately. Wow. All right.
Chicago have a chance.
Chicago have a chance. So let's touch on Lonzo Ball, and there are other things you want to talk about.
There will be other things to get to.
Which you're welcome to just go ahead and blow your load right away.
Lonzo is an incredible defender, an incredible passer. He's turned into a good shooter. He's fixed up a lot of his weird, bad habits about always kicking out and never actually driving and finishing it. He's gotten a lot better. He's gotten a lot more consistent. I'm excited for him to be a part of this squad. Under Billy Donovan as well. Billy Donovan's a fine coach.
Yeah. I'm excited for Lonzo specifically in this, and just one of the things I'll touch on with Lonzo is I actually expected him to run it back in New Orleans. I know he has a good relationship with Ingram, and I know Zion reached out to Lonzo, say, hey, let's run this back and try to get something going, which I commend Zion for trying to keep the team together.
Yeah.
But it seems to me that Lonzo feels ready. Chicago's obviously a bigger market. The light's on them. They've got an all-star. They've just got Vooch.
They've got two all-stars.
Yeah, two all-stars right now. They're poised to make the playoffs. He's going to contribute. He is their starting point guard. He's their facilitator, their defender, and he can shoot as well, which they historically haven't had either, funnily enough. Lonzo, to me, this shows that Lonzo's ready to compete.
Yeah, he wants to be serious, head towards the playoffs.
And
it's weird to say Chicago, because like the Chicago of even this past year aren't playoff ready, but they're trying to. They're genuinely making, like he saw that New Orleans weren't making serious effort and weren't able to get enough pieces to contend this coming season. But Chicago were. So he said, okay, I'll pull the trigger.
Yep, he's going to do it. And I shout out to Lonzo, man. I'm excited for him. So right now, Lonzo Ball being their starting point guard, Zach LaVine being their main scorer, Vooch being just so consistent all round. I am excited for that three.
Oh, it only gets better.
I know. And hit me with it.
One of the best and most consistent scorers over the past 10 years from the San Antonio Spurs, DeRozan is coming to Shy City.
I did not expect that.
No.
Asshole.
Because DeMar talked about recently in an interview, I want to win. Right now, at this point in my career, I want to win.
Yep.
And I thought, okay, he's going to a team that's already made the playoffs, that are looking to get better. Maybe a Denver, right? That'd be a good fit for him. Maybe LA. There's always talks about players going to LA, but that could have happened. But he said Chicago. Chicago's my new home.
Chicago.
Wow. I didn't expect
Wasn't
that.
expecting it. So there are a few things to touch on, obviously, because we love Lonzo Ball, but DeRozan, like you said, one of the most consistent scorers in the last decade. He's been phenomenal. People forget what he's done for Toronto.
Yeah.
He was like, they had
He's the all-time leading scorer.
conference finals appearances on DeRozan's back.
Yeah.
No Kawhi.
DeRozan and Lowry, that was it.
Like, that was it. Like, DeRozan's a phenomenal scorer, super consistent, still makes the mid-range a killing.
Yeah.
It's insane. But the thing is now, when I said Levine was their go-to scorer, DeRozan's now just as good.
He's their two.
Yeah.
He's their number two.
And it's, how often do you see a team with two guys, and I know there are a few in the league, where it's like, you could get just as many points as me tonight.
Yeah.
I actually don't know who's going to get
They
more.
could very easily average 25 a night.
Easily. And there are a few teams in the league, but like Chicago are now blessed with that. They went from...
And Vooch could get 20.
Yeah, Vooch could
Easily,
get 20
right?
as well. Like,
Incredible.
We would see Vooch on a regular basis get 30 and 10, 30 and 15 in Orlando. You know, he's very capable of doing this in Chicago.
Now he doesn't have to force shots.
Doesn't. It's now there's spacing on the floor. Now there's passes on the floor. Everyone wants to win.
DeMar's become a way better passer in San Antonio. For those who don't know, DeMar's evolved a lot in his time in San Antonio. He actually tried stretching the three a lot more. He's been up and down with it, but he's now taking like 2 a game. That's great. That's all he needs to do. He's become a way better passer. He's become a good facilitator. He's averaging like 4 or 5 assists. Like, that's good from a guy who's never a passer, and he's become a better defender. He's played the 5 at San Antonio.
He has
He's gone from a 2 to a 3 to a 4.
upped in every category.
Yeah, he's become
that I
way
can
more an
think of.
all-round player.
An amazing all-round player, still a go-to scorer if you need him to be. And the super exciting thing, if you're a Chicago fan, like you just said, DeRozan said, I want to win. And he chose Chicago. And I know that makes you super happy. And I can only imagine actual
diehard
Chicago fans are happy about
100%.
It's absolutely insane. So let's go through the lineup now. All right, Lonzo Ball, DeRozan, LaVine,
Markkanen
for the moment, but he's going to be gone soon.
he wants out.
That's fine. And Vooch.
Yeah.
That's it. Like 4 of those 5, insane.
Yeah. 3 out of those 4 either are all-stars currently or have been prior.
It's like I love Chicago. I was never a big Zach LaVine fan, but the thing now that I'm excited for is Zach LaVine now needs to prove it.
Yeah, this is his. He's shown he can score 30 a night. He's shown he can score 50 on occasions. He's shown he can become an all-star. But now can he win? There's the same thing we've said with Devin Booker.
I was about to say the same thing.
Right?
Devin
There's
Booker.
the same like, he scored 70. He can score 30. He can score 40. Can he win?
We don't know yet.
Now Levine is in that same thing. Devin Booker's a better passer. Devin Booker's a better defender. Because Levine still isn't there on defense. But now he's got guys who can cover his ass.
Yes. And that's like seeing Zach Levine having to do 30, 40 points a night in order to maybe get to overtime. Right?
That's to not get blown out.
That's rough. And the interesting thing that's different from Phoenix, I think Phoenix is a good comparison, but Chris Paul's a winner. Jay Crowder's a winner. They have pedigree there. Chicago still don't.
They don't. Yeah, Vooch isn't a winner. DeMar's a winner.
DeMar's a winner, but then Lonzo's not.
Lonzo's not. Proven anything. And there's another man who, we'll say it, Alex Caruso. We'll just jump to it.
Yeah, let's get
We didn't get to it, but Alex Caruso is now also on the Bulls.
Off the bench,
He's coming off the bench. Unless they should run him off the bench. He shouldn't start.
He's a great bench man.
But he's technically a winner. He plays winning basketball in my eyes.
He plays. So we've spoken about Caruso before. So he'll be the sixth man off the bench.
He's a boy of
easily.
Mine.
Yep. And he does the winning plays. He does the smart plays. He does the team
intangibles.
He's a
winning player.
Yeah, he's not going to ISO the best defender on the team. He's not going to jack up shots. The coach knows the plays, and much like what we were speaking about before with Rubio, very similar. They trust.
Yeah.
And they'll get done whatever you need done. And that's Caruso. And that's why Caruso is so good. He's not a great, super hyper talented player.
No.
The man just understands and listens.
I said it, I don't know if it was last season or the season before, probably both, that Caruso was the third man in LA.
Yep.
He was the third best player because he constantly just had winning plays. So, similar to how we talk about Looney, how Looney is always in the right place at the right time. Caruso does the exact same thing.
Well, absolutely. Yep. I agree with you.
And having that on a team is incredible. And I'm so happy.
It's going to be good because we just spoke about the lineup in Chicago. And there's just so much to talk about with Chicago. Because it went from Chris Dunn, Kobe White,
Felicio.
Kobe White was the shining star.
Bobby Portis.
Wendell Carter Jr. was the shining star.
Nikola Mirotic.
Laurie Markin is still there, but he won't be forever.
Because he's publicly said he wants out and he can leave. Fuck him.
To DeRozan wanting to play for the team, to Lonzo wanting to play for your team. It's just such a bittersweet thing if you're Chicago. It's finally, you should make the playoffs. And what's your expectation? Expectation.
Okay, so they have to make the playoffs.
Yes.
Right? I'm not expecting top 4 because I feel like Boston and Milwaukee, Nets and Philly, right? Yeah. I'm not expecting top 4. But you've got to make, I think you got to do between 6 to 8. Hopefully 6. Hopefully 6.
Yep. I think 6 is the ceiling.
Right.
Especially, this is a brand new team.
This is a brand new team. Billy Donovan is a great regular season coach. Playoffs, it's a bit, but he can take them to the playoffs. And I think there's a chance they can make the 6th seed.
Yeah, no, I think so too.
And playoffs bare minimum.
Yep.
And I just want to see them in the playoffs. I want to see how Levine goes in the playoffs. I just want to see how they step up.
Yep. Yeah, no worries. That's pretty much it for Chicago. I'm just excited to see what it is.
We just recapped everything because there's no point going back to them later when we get to Caruso or something. But
I want to see. I'm excited to see it. I want to see.
They're the biggest change. Second biggest.
I want to see just how great Levine can be.
Yeah.
I want to see because Devin Booker's proven to be great.
Yeah.
Is Zach Levine of the same category?
Levine is a better shot creator than Devin Booker.
Ooh, that's actually quite of a hot take. I think personally.
I think athletically, he's a better shot creator.
Yeah,
is he a better shot maker? No. Is he a better scorer?
Okay. Yeah.
Is he as consistent? But in terms of creating space and creating shots,
just off his build and his athleticism.
And his footwork.
It's a different thing, yeah.
I think Levine has that edge in that space creation.
Yeah, I don't
Space creation over shot creation, maybe. But it's like they're interlinked.
It's so, they're very niche things you're talking about.
For those who don't, I talk about Levine a lot. Just watch him. It doesn't matter about him shooting a 3. It doesn't matter about him dunking. Watch him get to his spots. That's the most important thing. It's incredible.
Yeah.
It's really fucking good.
Yeah, I think Devin Booker and Zach LaVine are very similar players. I think one's more polished than the other. I think Devin Booker is.
LaVine's
so
play style is a
polished.
lot like Dame's.
Yeah. Actually, I think that's a good. I think because the positions that Booker and LaVine play are very similar,
They get compared to a lot.
and I think it's because they kind of started the same way, right? They
Yeah.
both had to do everything on the
Yeah.
team in order to get any kind of win. Whereas I think Booker really worked on polishing his game.
Yeah.
Whereas-
Weaponizing his skill set a lot
Yes.
more. Where Levine is a lot more raw and took a lot bit more time
Yeah,
to develop.
but still deadly.
Yeah.
Through that, yeah,
Absolutely
I think that's a
deadly.
really good comparison. Moving on to the next one, New Orleans get Devontae Graham, Charlotte get a second round pick. I think that's really good
I really like Devontae.
Yeah.
But like,
for a pick.
yeah,
Lottery
no, sorry.
protected.
For a pick,
Yeah, that's really good.
how did they fleece that? How did they what magic trick?
It is a lottery protected pick.
But still.
For 2022. But Devontae Graham, now when you've really got to try and make things work with Zion,
yeah.
I actually think it is something. Not
Yeah.
great, but it is something. What Chicago had to give up for DeMar DeRozan was Thaddeus Young, Alpha Kamuni, and 2 second-round picks. Go for it.
They're all
That's
past
fine.
their prime.
Easy done. Utah get Eric Pascal. Golden State
Good.
get a second-round pick. That's fine.
Yeah.
Whatever. Pascal wasn't doing too much.
No.
He's not your Kevon Looney.
No.
That's for sure.
It's weird they'll never give up Looney.
3-team trade. Brooklyn get 2 second-round picks. San Antonio get Chandler Hutchinson and a second-round pick. Washington get Spencer Dinwiddie. I think Spencer Dinwiddie...
That's actually pretty big.
Yes.
A good sixth man.
Spencer Dinwiddie...
Good
he
shot
needs to get his
creator.
body right.
Yeah, he's
That's
had
the issue
injuries.
right
He's
now,
struggled.
right?
But when he's healthy, he's a good player.
I
He's
think
a
so
good-
too. He's a
really
big
good
power
sixth man.
forward. Yeah.
He has I don't want to say Jordan Clarkson potential, but he has the ability to come off the bench and be like, I'm gonna fucking turn up.
Yep.
So if he can stay healthy and get his body right,
Fingers crossed, because I actually like Spencer Dinwiddie a lot. Next one, which is actually a surprise to me, kind of hurts my soul a little bit. Memphis get Sam Merrill and 2 second-round picks. Milwaukee get Grayson Allen.
Oh yeah, your boy.
I like Grayson Allen, and I'm not going to ramble about him, but the two reasons I like
Here comes the
Grayson
ramble.
Allen, okay, he hustle, can shoot, done. All right, that's all you want from a player of his caliber. He's not starting, just hustle and shoot. God
Yeah.
damn it! But he's a killer. Sometimes in a bad way, like the Morris twins, right? Sometimes like that.
Yeah.
But that's what Milwaukee need. They just lost PJ as well. They
Yeah.
need someone to kind of replace that energy. Grayson's a good pickup. I like this one for
I
Milwaukee.
love how PJ went there mid-season, got a chip and dipped.
Yeah. That's pretty much all I've got on the trade tracker. The last one's Grayson Allen.
Can you imagine that if that ends? That's the last trade of the offseason.
Oh, just Grayson Allen? Yeah, Milwaukee got lucky. No, I think that's a good one.
Let's give winners and losers list.
Yep.
Winners are Miami, Chicago.
Yep, Miami, Chicago,
LA.
Lakers. Yep.
No, the trade tracker list. You didn't talk about the signing list
Oh, I haven't talked about the signing list. No.
because LA are
Yeah,
a completely different squad right now.
Yep. All right.
Because I'm like, nah, surely that's not it. Because there's big things that happened, right? So for trades, Chicago and Miami are by far the biggest winners.
Yep.
Because just for trades, Miami got what they were missing, and Chicago are a completely new look squad.
Yep.
You've got the signing list.
No, but the ones that are important, because we are starting to get crazy
starting to
with
get
time. LA, the reason I'm also super excited, we got Kendrick Nunn. Okay.
That's number one.
Killer off the bench.
Yeah.
Bonafide bucket. We just re-signed Dwight Howard.
Yeah. Got him a year's break.
Yep.
He went on a honeymoon, but he's back.
Yep. Absolutely insane. Who else did we
Kent
get?
Bazemore.
Kent Bazemore, he's now back. This is his second stint with LA, I believe. Wayne Ellington.
Wayne
second
Ellington.
stint
Yeah.
with LA.
Yeah.
And who's the other one? Who's the other one? My mind's blanking.
Come on.
Hit me with it.
My fucking boy.
Oh, it's your boy. I've completely.
He's not a boy.
Carmelo Anthony.
How did you fucking forget?
Sorry, because I'm so excited about Kendrick Nunn and Dwight.
Mellow.
We're killers. We're killers.
One of my
got so
favorite
many
players of all
ones. Sorry,
time.
I
Probably
forgot.
my favorite player of all time.
Yeah.
How the fuck did you forget?
I'm
Melo is
too
in
hyped
LA.
up in Kendrick Nunn and Dwight.
Mello could get a ring.
He could.
I'm shocked he left Portland, because
same.
he seemed like a great fit there. He was embraced by the team and the fans, but he's like, he wants to win and he wants a chip. Portland haven't done fucking anything this offseason, by the way.
Okay,
They're in a spot where they need to make Dame happy. They need to compete. They haven't done fucking anything.
I do want to touch on Portland. Let's just wrap up LA as a whole. So Kendrick Nunn is firepower off the bench. We just lost Caruso. Kendrick Nunn, I feel, kind of it's a similar mold, more of a scorer, if anything, but we need it when we've just lost KCP especially. I think Wayne Ellington, Bazemore, great. They're shooters. That's fine. We do want shooters on the team. We just lost Kuzma. I think Melo is proven to be a consistent, reliable scorer with his resurgence with Portland.
10 to 15.
Yep, absolutely. And I think he really wants to play with Bron more than anything. They're best buds.
Never played together.
And finally get to see it, and I'm excited for it. I get to see him in the purple and gold. We've always loved Melo, obviously. He's one of your favourite players of all time. I've always loved his body of work.
We can get 2 Lakers jerseys up on the wall, Kobe and Melo.
Oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah, dude. Let's do it. And Ross as well. Like,
LA's
just
just those two.
Everyone
just
we
those
love.
two.
Everyone we love.
KD to the Lakers?
Oh, God. Even I feel like that's too much. That's too much.
My new chapter.
But the thing I love about Melo now, as just a person, is he genuinely appreciates what Portland did for him. They took a gamble on him and he appreciates the 2 years he now still has a career because of Portland. I really, really love that.
He said that as well. Like, I appreciate everything. I have a career because of you guys.
Absolutely. Dwight Howard, for some reason, surprisingly, super, super emotional about being back with LA. Like, I was showing you videos.
He wanted to stay, remember?
He wanted to stay, but then he wasn't patient enough because we were working things out with Harrell, and then he decided to go and sign a deal with.
I'm sure there was pressure
Philly.
from his age, pressure from something behind the scenes, but.
Because I know how it looks. Like, right, you're in the middle of trying to finalize a deal with Drummond and Harrell. They're your positions, right? So I know how it looks, but apparently we did want to re-sign him, from what I heard. But he was a bit impatient. But he was crying signing the contract and crying on IG or whatever. Just really emotional about being back with LA. And I love that passion. It's the same thing that Chicago feel with DeRozan wanting to go to this team to win. I love seeing Dwight so passionate about joining the Lakers. I absolutely adore it. But obviously, we'll see where the Lakers go. Obviously, it's a brand new squad, realistically.
Yeah.
It's going to take time to mold, and we don't have a lot of time.
Yeah.
But
you're like, the thing is, all your new squad, apart from Kendrick Nunn, are vets, so they can very easily fit into a mold.
Yep.
Ken Bazemore's in the league because he's been on different teams. He can just fit into anything, right? Melo, we've seen he's able to fit into a new structure. It's still Melo, but again, Wayne Ellington's just going to spot up. Dwight knows his role in this team.
And the polar opposite of this is Portland, who just run it back every time. They think team chemistry is the way to go. It's not. And it's starting to look really dire. And it might be where we wrap it up, unless you want to touch on something else. But what are your thoughts on what's going on with Portland? Because Dame's been very vocal for the first time, I think.
And it's about time, right? Yeah. He's the best player on the team by a country mile.
Yep.
He's an MVP caliber player.
Yep.
And this current team isn't it.
It's not.
It's hard to blow it up and like completely swap it around to go back. But at the same time, it's hard to look at that same squad and say, well, it didn't work last year. Okay, you gotten a bit worse. Didn't work last year. It changes, but you're worse. Didn't work last year. Just constantly again.
When I think of Dame and a franchise, players like this, and Giannis is similar to Milwaukee, I think what they do is a double-edged sword in certain situations.
Same with Beal.
They love the city. They love their team. They love their teammates to no end. And they're very verbal about it, which is the difference. When you've got a player like Dame saying, I want to win in Portland. I want to retire in Portland. Portland's my city, my home. Everyone's family here. I love my fans. That is great. That gets a following. That gets other teams on board because they know that your intent is to win and stay. You don't have to bounce around. But it also makes your front office fucking lazy.
Yeah.
It means, okay, no, we've got time. We'll figure it out. We'll let CJ McCollum get better. We'll let Nurkic get healthy. We'll figure out what we're doing with Zach Collins.
They only just traded Zach Collins.
Like, it's insane how lazy this front office has been and just sat on their ass the entire time. And luckily, Milwaukee got it together. They realized that, because there's always talk with Giannis of where
Yeah.
he's going, and there never was with Dame.
No.
And they went out and said, F it, Drew Holiday,
Yeah.
we're getting him. We're getting PJ Tucker. We're getting Middleton to the max. We're
Yeah.
going all in on these guys, and they won the chip,
Yeah.
deservedly so. And we see the opposite with Portland, man. And it's
How many times do they want Enes Kanter?
right. Like, Enes Kanter's not going to win you a chip. It's not going to win you a series. I appreciate his effort, playing with the shoulder, whatever. But this isn't going to change anything.
Yeah.
And it's on Dame. It's on the front office. Because Dame obviously is intertwined with the front office. It's the same thing with Bron, Giannis. They all want to keep their star players and franchise players happy. Dame's an absolute MVP candidate, like it or not. But if he's just allowed to say what he wants, I want Jason Kidd, and Jason Kidd's standoffish about that and wants to differentiate. Well, I actually think Jason Kidd not going may have been the right move, but obviously Dame wanted him. And say if that was, a Frank Vogel or Budenholzer, whoever was up for grabs, a great coach, and they didn't get him because Dame's now being a bit too loud, and the front office you can't really hear in the background, and even though they're the ones that should be talking, it's like you don't see Bob Myers, you don't see Steph and Clay being so verbal when things are rough. You see Bob Myers handling it very professionally.
Yeah.
You see Rob Pelinka handling things very professionally with LA. It seems like an absolute mess.
I don't know what they're going to do.
Like
Their current roster doesn't work.
it doesn't.
They've got one shining light. CJ's good, but I think you blow it up.
Blow it up. Blow it up, baby. I don't know. Like, what do you do, right? We spoke about similar situations last season of the pod.
Flip stuff,
Like-
get Beal.
Beal would be a great pick, but I don't know if it's enough. Because
It's an upgrade from CJ.
They've-
Is it
it's-
enough?
it's
I
an
don't
upgrade
know.
for CJ?
But it's something.
I don't think it's enough.
Is it something? Yes.
Yes.
Is something better than nothing? Yes.
But all right, so we try a similar situation with New Orleans, okay? They somehow retain Zion and they get Bradley Beal, like maybe flip Ingram, all right? He's a young guy. They could use him and it's a reunion for Kuzma and whatever the fuck. But Beal and Zion, I think, is a game changer.
yes.
Beal and Dame, I don't think so, because we've seen the two-guard lineup for so damn long.
So what do you do?
That's the thing. Like, I have heard nothing from the front office. All I've heard is, we didn't get what we wanted this off season.
I mean, the offseason's also not done, but
Yeah. Like, so many of these players are snatched up
so
already.
you want a 3 or a 4, ideally.
Yep.
John Collins just signed a max, so he's not leaving.
Yep.
What are the 3-4s? 3-4s. Like, what are the
Like Fournier is
wings.
snatched up for a bit.
Yeah.
Like, there's just all these guys are getting snatched up.
So you'd have to do a trade.
Very,
It's
very
not
quickly.
about signing at this point. You have to look for a trade.
Yeah.
And what can you offer? You got to look for a wing or a power forward who isn't on a contender team that they're going to want to swap. That you give them like
Could
CJ or
do
something.
CJ for Ingram. Could do any of these kind of...
Siakam doesn't move the needle enough.
Doesn't do it enough. Like, he is... I think he would make a better improvement than Beal. For the reason is... Portland have always struggled with their wings. They always have. The two-guard lineups, you don't need two guards. You can run one...
It can work, but...
It can, but like Jokic and Murray work really well.
Yeah.
LeBron's basically a guard and runs with AD. It works really well. That's what works. We don't see a lot of two-guard lineups which have success.
So what the fuck do you do?
Like, I don't think any of these, by the way, I think is the answer.
No.
But an improvement for something different.
It's something. It's you're
Ingram.
willing to say,
Get just something else. Siakam even.
Ingram would be good. And that also
Yep.
means it's different for New Orleans. Like CJ and not Nurk. You want to keep Nurk.
Yep.
But like CJ and something and a pick for Ingram.
Yes.
They give something for both sides. It gives change for both sides.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Like,
So far they're doing fucking nothing.
I genuinely.
And time's running
don't
out
know.
because as much as Dame says he wants to retire in Portland, how long is that going to last when the front office isn't making the necessary steps to make your team better and to make you a champion?
I don't know.
Like when you work for a company and you're busting your ass and you tell management, I need this, we need this, and management is just fingers in their ears, thumbs up their asses.
Just like, no, we got Dame, we're good.
We got Dame,
we'll figure
we're
it
good.
out.
How long
Like,
do you
no.
stay at that company?
You need the higher ups to accommodate for what you need.
Correct.
That's just business.
Yeah.
Right? And that's what they're doing right now is messy business. You
Yeah.
know, Terry Stotts is a friendly guy.
He's gone, right?
Yeah, he's gone. But like he was a friendly guy, decent coach, much like Billy Donovan, but he's not enough to push the needle.
Yeah.
And that's what they need right now when you've got an MVP candidate in
Yeah.
Dame. And I can see him going because of how they've handled it. They've kind of left Dame out on an island to solve it. And I don't think that's fair on Dame. And I think that's why we're seeing him so vocal now because he's frustrated, man.
He's getting there. He's like 28, towards 30.
Yeah, he's getting up there.
Yeah.
He's not going to be in his prime. Like a few more years, he's out of his prime.
Yeah.
Like you've got to figure this out now.
Now's the time.
Yep.
And you let Melo walk.
Yeah.
Because Melo saw, I want to win. I'm going to go to LA.
Yeah. And y'all ain't doing anything different.
Yeah.
Y'all just got nothing. I'm just disappointed. I'm disappointed.
It's disappointing.
I love what Chicago have done. I love what LA have done. But Jesus, man, what are Portland doing?
Yeah.
Like we were speaking about this before the pod. What are New Orleans doing? I mean, they made a trade.
Yeah, they made a trade. They went
You
and got Devontae Graham.
Devontae Graham, they got Jonas.
Yeah.
But boy, they just let Melo walk, like you said. I don't get it. So before I cry, let's
we'll wrap it up.
Let's wrap this up.
If you've made it through this far, thank you very, very much. Favorite part of our week, every week. Next week is going to be the Blockies. We'll talk about that in just a sec. We are on every streaming platform possible. Yep. Spotify, Groove Shark, Last FM, Nonstop Pop FM.
That's it.
Google Pod, Apple Pod. We are on YouTube. I run at the Low Block Podcast.
Yes. Yep.
Right. That's where we typically get our most views because we are a video podcast as well. If you're only listening to us in audio, you can see our happy smiling faces in video.
Yes.
We are on Instagram and Facebook at the Low Block Podcast. Tell your friends about it. It's the favorite part of our week every week. But like it more if you tell your friends, get their friends, tell their friends. Because the more people listen to us, the better.
Yes. And get people around next weekend.
Yes,
the episode.
100%. Next week is the Blockies. We do the Blockies every single year. Starting last year was our first one. It's our second year, season 2. We're going to be busy to the end of the season. We're going to be doing a few awards. We'll announce them during the week. We may put up a video on the channel saying, a few days before we record, saying, here's what our category is going to be.
Yep.
Just so, like, if you're listening at home, you can play along.
Do it like bingo, man. Make your own list.
Make your own list.
See if
See
we
if
can
it
match
matches
it.
up with our
Yeah.
list. We typically just recap the year, recap the season, give a winner.
Yep.
Each of ours.
Yeah, so when we mention awards, obviously we've got our personal picks for the generic awards, but we also make up our own. Some awards which I feel should be spoken about.
Yeah.
You know, things which maybe aren't on the stat sheet. So it's going to be real interesting. You and I are going to spend some time putting the list together and then obviously not talking about our list. We're going to save it for the pod, so it's a surprise, but we're going to look fucking nice when we're doing it.
We're going to be dressed up a little bit. You're welcome to get dressed up yourself or have a cocktail, have a beer, have a wine, have a whatever. It's a good way to end the season, good way to take off that mental stress for the year.
Good way to end it on as well, because awards are always a good thing. You know,
Absolutely.
we want to appreciate the greatness in the league, and that's what we're going to do.
And at the end of the season, we're going to be doing sporadic episodes because we found last off season we got a bit burnt out.
Yep.
Having to do an episode each week, and there wasn't too much to talk about. So we're essentially going to be ending the season, having a off season, an episode every 3 weeks or so.
Yep.
And then getting back into it with a brand new setup into season 3.
Better quality, new setup, revitalized boys.
Absolutely.
I'm excited for
Absolutely. A proper off season will do us good.
Yes.
So thank you very much. I love you all. Bye.